It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Hey.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Good morning. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. Happy Monday to you. I'm Philip Simon. Morning, Mark. Can you hear us?
I can't hear anybody. Sorry.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Are we on? Okay.
Yes. Mark,
Morning,
can you-
everybody.
Hi, Mark. Can you hear me? Hello.
The sports
Well,
we
listen,
play
we've got another great
depend on
show
the
lined
health
up
we
for you
build.
today. The Ministry of Education.
So let's stay healthy. Wear a mask and practice social distancing and hand washing to protect yourself and others. Remember, COVID-19 is not a game.
A public service message from the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
Good afternoon. First response. How can I help you?
I've been in an accident on West Bay Street. Can you send someone to help?
Yes, ma'am. A first response team will be there in 15 minutes. Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine, but a bit upset.
We're glad you're not hurt. Please, try to relax. Our team will take care of everything as soon as they arrive.
First Response provides immediate on-site service and support from the scene of an accident through the claims and repair process. And it's free to all Bahamas First insured drivers in New Providence every day for any type of accident. If you drive and want First Response on your side, call 32-FIRST or visit bahamasfirst.com for the name of an authorized Bahamas First agent. First Response can't prevent an accident from happening.
But it can certainly ease your mind when it happens.
Business in the Box is your solution for business from Cable Bahamas. It's an internet, voice, mobile, and advertising solution all in one place. Get reliable internet, free domestic call, and a live corporate package, and free TV ad placement, all starting with packages as low as $164 a month. You can save over $3,000 a year. Just call 601-8911. That's 601-8911. And ask for Business in a Box from Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. Terms and conditions apply.
It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Hey.
Good morning. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. Happy Monday to you. I'm Philip Simon.
And I'm Mark Daniels filling in for Star. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday indeed, Mark. It feels like it was a long weekend, but it was only 2 days.
I know, right? It's building up to this anticipation of school starting for some. It's a weary Monday. We're back to school, but we're not worrying about traffic on the road. We're worried about internet traffic, right? And this digital
Oh, my
school
goodness.
environment we're going in. You like that one?
I got you, man. I got you, man. We've been talking with the Ministry of Education for the last couple of weeks. You know, school was supposed to start on the 21st, and then now I think it's pushed back to October 5th. We're going to be learning more about that here today on Bahamas at Sunrise. But I think your kids are starting up today, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They both have virtual classes. They both have to be well-behaved children sitting down at their computers for half of the day. So we're going to see how this works because this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, listen, my heart is with the teachers, man, because God knows they have the toughest job in the world, and doing this virtually, I don't know.
I know it's such a change from the norm, the little things that we took for granted, taking your children to school, them interacting with their friends, running around, getting their energy out. But now you have to compress all of that into a virtual experience, which must be hard for the kids as well. I'm sure that they don't enjoy it as much as we think they do.
Yeah, you're right. But listen, a long weekend, NBA playoffs abound. I think Godfrey's Lakers finally pulled it out last night, so I can't poke fun at him too much this morning. But listen, had quite a few, I would call them maybe Christmas or New Year's Day birthdays yesterday and today. Crystal Bethel, all the way up in New York, celebrated a birthday. My good cousin Kira Roll also celebrated a birthday. Candia Dames celebrated a birthday yesterday as well. And Shivago Lang is today. But Mark, the big one is Mrs. Joan Albury.
Yes, our Commander-in-Chief. Happy belated birthday, Mrs. Albury. We wish you many more blessings as you've taken another lap around the sun. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, I think she's 59 today or something like that. I don't remember the exact age.
29.
Well, listen, we've got another great show. As mentioned, we got the Ministry of Education here to talk about school management. Doctors Hospital is also back to talk about controlling risk factors during this COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes, and then we have an interview with Her Excellency Laurie Peters, High Commissioner of Canada to the Bahamas. Also, please join us on Thursday at 10:30 a.m. to noon for our webinar, Tourism and Hospitality, Promoting Strengths in Rebranding. This is going to be a great seminar. You can register at tclevents.com, and it's going to be full of wonderful information, wonderful speakers, and we encourage you to tune in this Thursday, 10:30 to noon. But before we learn more about that, I see it's raining outside, so we're going to hear from our other chief, Godfrey Burnside. What's happening with the weather, Godfrey?
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First in Insurance, today, tomorrow.
Over the western Cuba, interacting with moist and stable air mass across the area, will continue to sustain unsettled weather across the islands through the next several days. Today, the variable cloudiness, a few showers, isolated thunderstorms, on to becoming heavier times. High temperature 91, heat index 106. Tonight, partly cloudy and warm, a few showers, possible thunderstorms, below going down to 79 degrees Fahrenheit. And some region highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados 83 and 80. In Jamaica, 81 and 73. In Trinidad, 86 and 76. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 91 and 79. Across North America, Atlanta, 85 and 67. In Raleigh, 85 and 63. In Miami, 91 and 81. Dallas, Texas, 91 and 74. And Toronto, Canada, 76 and 69. By the weather's look, the level trough across the disturbance across western Cuba, moving towards the west, will continue into act with some moist and stable mass, and so you can have continued variable cloudiness through Wednesday, with showers and thunderstorms going to becoming heavier times. After that, you have a mix of sun and clouds. Temperature daytime will be around the 90-degree mark. At nighttime in the upper 70s to lower 80s. That puts you up on your first look at weather sunrise. I'm glad to go inside. Bahamas and Sunrise will be back after a short commercial break.
The sports we play depend on the health we build. So let's stay healthy. Wear a mask and practice social distancing and hand washing to protect yourself and others. Remember, COVID-19 is not a game.
A public service message from the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
Good afternoon. First response. How can I help you?
I've been in an accident on West Bay Street. Can you send someone to help?
Yes, ma'am. A first response team will be there in 15 minutes. Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine, but a bit upset.
We're glad you're not hurt. Please, try to relax. Our team will take care of everything as soon as they arrive.
First Response provides immediate on-site service and support from the scene of an accident through the claims and repair process. And it's free to all Bahamas First insured drivers in New Providence, every day for any type of accident. If you drive and want First Response on your side, call 32-FIRST or visit bahamasfirst.com for the name of an authorized Bahamas First agent. First Response can't prevent an accident from happening,
But it can certainly ease your mind when it happens.
Business in the Box is your solution for business from Cable Bahamas. It's an internet, voice, mobile, and advertising solution all in one place. Get reliable internet, free domestic call, and a live corporate package, and free TV ad placement, all starting with packages as low as $164 a month. You can save over $3,000 a year. Just call 601-8911. That's 601-8911. And ask for Business in a Box from Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. Safety first, education always. This is the Ministry of Education, back for more in their 10-part series on education. Today we are discussing school management with Julian Anderson, Deputy Director of Education, Ministry of Education. Good morning. Welcome back, Julian. So good to see you.
Good morning, Simon. Good morning, Bahamas. It's a pleasure to see you also.
Well, this is the week. We've been hearing about the reopening of school for students, and the date is now pushed to October 5th, 2020, instead of the original date of September 21st, instead of the original date would have been last week. But listen, so much is going on, but I believe teachers should be reporting back today?
Yes, you are correct. Today, September the 7th, all teachers in the public school system in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas will be returning to schools today. And they will be returning to a mandatory professional development that will be held virtually. And we're asking all teachers to go to their assigned schools to be a part of this virtual professional development.
Now, I imagine it's been quite a task, almost like Monopoly, trying to get different pieces in place. I understand that some teachers have been redeployed to other islands in the Bahamas, but some may be stranded on islands, waiting for a flight to get to their new assignment. The Ministry of Education, like you just said, all teachers must be in place today, but How does the ministry propose to deal with that particular dilemma?
Thanks for asking that question. We're asking all teachers from year to year, we ask teachers to fill voids on family islands. And this year is no different. And because of COVID-19 and the lockdowns and the restrictions that were in place, some teachers are stranded. So what we're asking them to do is to report to your former school. And we have asked superintendents and principals to accommodate them by allowing them to sign in at their former school and allow them to participate in the activities.
I tell you, this is obviously a place that we have never been before, and they're just doing a lot of different things. You know, one of the things that seem to have happened every year, teachers resign just before the opening of school, resulting in shortages in different subject areas in different schools. How is the Ministry of Education, has it happened again this year? And if it has happened, how does the Ministry of Education deal with what might be considered, quite honestly, a crisis if it is?
Unfortunately for us, it's a problem every year, but we have a number of measures in place to assist with the teacher shortage. Normally we go overseas to recruit teachers, but this year we were unable to do so because of COVID-19. But we have, every year we hire over 200 teachers, mostly from UB. This year we are hiring 220 teachers to assist us. We also have what is called a supply teacher system, where we engage former teachers that were hired by the Ministry of Education, and we engage them on a temporary basis. We also have our virtual schools where students can log in to live stream lessons and get instruction.
You're talking about that virtual schooling. We've talked about this in the past as well, and there seems to be a real shortage of just trying to get the technology in place. You know, you go to some of these stores and you know, you can't find the necessary iPads, the tablets, etc. Has the ministry encountered this problem, or do we anticipate that by October 5th, students will have the resources that they need?
Well, we know that this is a global pandemic and every country is going virtual, so resources are scarce at this time.
Well, I'll tell you what, listen, you are the Director of Technology, and we realize that in a COVID-19 environment, schools are opening virtually in New Providence, Grand Bahama, Eleuthera. It's a challenge. I mean, let us know as Bahamians how we can collectively assist in this huge task that the Ministry of Education has before them.
That's $1 million question. And again, thank you for asking. You know, there's an African proverb that says it takes a village to raise a child. And then we had a saying in the Bahamas in the 70s that the wealth of a nation lies within the youth of our nation. And the ministry this year has declared safety first, education always. So we're asking first for parents to buy tablets to assist their children in engaging in this virtual platform. And we're appealing to every Bahamian, corporate Bahamas, to come on board and partner with the Ministry of Education by assisting us and making an investment in our future and our children by donating tablets.
Yeah, let me tell you, there's no better way to change or affect the future than to work with young people today. Julian Anderson, Deputy Director of Education, Ministry of Education. My brother, thank you so much for joining us here on Bahamas at Sunrise.
It's been a pleasure, and thank you.
All right. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
The COVID-19 pandemic demands the most modern techniques and highest standards of sanitizing to ensure the safety of schools, businesses, churches, and the ones we love. Treeline Divine Professional Sanitizers offers state-of-the-art electrostatic technology, providing maximum efficiency and coverage to protect your environment and preserve your health against mold and 99% of bacteria and viruses, including COVID-19. With pricing to match your budget and standards to meet your highest expectations, we invite you to contact us for a free analysis of your weekly, monthly, or single-use needs. COVID-19's impact is strong, but our commitment to restoring your safety is even stronger. Treeline Divine Sanitizing. Spread confidence.
Do you want to know more about the scriptures, the early Christian church, its teachings, suffering, other religions, the authenticity of the Bible? The Anglican Theological Institute is for you. Enroll in a 3-year certificate program. Classes are conducted from NASA and Freeport on Saturday mornings. Don't miss a class. Stay connected anytime, anywhere, with high-speed internet. Contact us at 603-2481. Visit our Facebook page. Pick up an application form at any Anglican church or at Addington House on Sands Road. The Anglican Theological Institute is for you.
Nourish your immune system. Nourish your health. Nourish your life with Ensure. Ensure Original, Ensure Plus, and Ensure Max Protein.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. This morning, we have the pleasure of having with us Dr. Sheena Antonio Colley, Chief Medical Officer and Medical Director at Doctors Hospital West, and Dr. Frederick Smith, Internal Medicine Specialist and Nephrologist with the Doctors Hospital Health System, joining us as a part of the series called Surviving COVID, Controlling Your Risk Factors. They will be discussing with us this morning renal disease and its current COVID stats and risks. Good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
Thank you much.
Thanks for being with us. So tell us, what is chronic kidney disease?
Well, I'm going to let Dr. Frederick Smith answer that. He is our Director of Renal Replacement Therapy at Doctors Hospital. And I just wanted to say that we have a Doctors Hospital Health System in this response to COVID. We are the center that will be set aside for the dialysis of patients who have chronic kidney disease that require renal replacement and who are COVID positive as well too. And that's going to be facilitated at our West facility on Blake Road. So Dr. Smith is quite an expert in this field, so he could go ahead and answer about chronic kidney disease.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot, boss lady. Could I start by doing what I normally do, cause a little bit of trouble? Okay. Can I switch the question a little bit and answer something else?
Go ahead.
I'll come back to your question, I promise, yes. Mark.
Yep.
So, as Dr. Antonio rightly said, we are the center that are offering dialysis or renal replacement therapy for people that are COVID positive or patients that are COVID positive. And before I even say what chronic kidney disease is, I think it's important for us to let the nation know what sorts of statistics that we may have had so that they could realize how much they need to stay at home and wear masks and care for themselves and care for others. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, we've dialyzed between 30 to 40 people, and dialysis being when your kidneys aren't working properly, then what we have to do is put you on a machine. And the machine does the cleaning of your blood for you. Basically, we put two things in your arms or two needles in the arms or connect you via a catheter tube coming out of the neck or somewhere else. And your blood goes through the machine for about the 4 hours that you're going to be there. So by an average, we've dialyzed about 30 to 40 people that have kidney disease that have ended up with COVID. Wow. So out of a population, I guess, at PMH, we may have about 160 on the outside. We may have up to 300-400 people out of a population of about 500 people in the archipelago of the Bahamas. We've ended up having to dialyze about 40 of them because of COVID. So although we know that the numbers are high, statistically, that's not as bad as we think that it should be or it could be. In regard to that, we also talk about this thing where people recover from COVID or they don't recover from COVID. And we used multiple things to say whether they recovered or not. Typically, what we have used in our system, and Dr. Antonio could always correct me, is that we have waited until they've had 2 negative COVID tests that are at least 48 hours apart. So that's one way of looking at it. Right. And the thing with that is then they say that after 2 negative tests, then you shouldn't be able to shed the virus anymore. Because there are even some guidelines that say that a little different, that you could continue to be COVID positive, but not sharing because the virus just doesn't replicate or doesn't shed as much after that. But again, out of 30 to 40 patients, out of a population of about 500, we have about 8 people or 40 people that have been COVID positive. And out of that we've had to dialyze, I should say. Out of that, we've had about 8 people that have gotten better, i.e. the 2 COVID tests that are negative within that time period, within 24 to 48 hours. Fortunately, unfortunately, we've had about 5 deaths. But again, I think it speaks to the volumes of how careful we need to be. And you drive around the island and you see people still bungle up on the porch and they live together, whatever, but nobody has on a mask. Man, we have to do something with that, eh? And of course, we're doing the typical Bahamian thing with the mask below the nose. The mask is below the nose hole. It's below the ears. It means that we're not protecting anybody, ourselves or anyone else.
Right. And
we've had about 4 people that we've diagnosed that have had no symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
We've just done it because they were going into hospital to do a test or get a procedure done, and they've had no symptoms. So again, the person that's sitting next to you, man, don't sit next to them if they don't want a mask, because you just don't know.
Free advice.
Free advice.
So for persons on dialysis, does dialysis impact your immune system? And how can somebody who's undergoing dialysis stay healthy?
So dialysis definitely affects your immune system because it's one of those things that we call that cause a decrease in the immune system, like diabetes, one of those chronic kidney disease that does it. So it does. So if you're going to protect yourself as a dialysis patient, I think that all it is following the guidelines. Wear your mask. Stay 3 feet away from somebody, 3 to 6 feet away from somebody. Minimize your outgoing into public spaces. I mean, think about it. Once you're in dialysis, you're coming back to an environment in a hospital or in an outpatient center at least 3 times a week.
Yeah.
You're sitting there for 4 hours, most times in an air-conditioned, closed environment without the magic term negative pressure environment. It means that the same air that everybody is breathing in and out, you're breathing in and out for about 3 to 4 hours. Come on, man, wear your mask. Don't take off your mask to eat whilst you're on the machine. Don't try to drink anything whilst you're on the machine. You have to do what it is to protect you. Even if you're not caring about the person next to you, you got to care about yourself to protect yourself from everybody else.
And that's great advice. And that's getting into preventative action. And Dr. Cawley, I don't know if you want to comment on, just from your perspective with Doctors Hospital West, how have Bahamians been adapting to the suggestions that have been putting out there, and how have you seen, I guess, an impact in terms of people coming into the hospital care system and how quickly they recover?
So, Mark, good question in terms of Doctors Hospital West and what we've been seeing. Unfortunately, we've been seeing very, very sick patients. We've been seeing patients who require what we call high flow oxygen and who require intubation, in other words, to be put on a machine that will help them to breathe. And I think that what we hope to see is that we would start to see less of these very, very sick patients. Most of them would have comorbidities. In other words, they would have some other underlying chronic illness like renal disease that would predispose them to being even more sick. And so what we've been seeing is that these patients are very ill, and hence us trying to do something with this series to help to bring light to some of the things that they could mitigate to help themselves as well too, and as well as for some information. So yeah, definitely what we've been seeing is a lot of very, very sick patients. Some of them take quite a while to recover. Thankfully, as Dr. Smith said, we've had a number of recoveries, which is always very thankful. But many of the very, very ill patients that require this high level of oxygen in order to breathe a lot of them would take longer to what we call recover. And like we said, recovery usually requires that you have at least 2 of these negative COVID tests over 24 greater than 24 hours apart. And sometimes it takes quite a while. We've had a patient who was actually a dialysis patient that took about 2.5 months to actually be recovered.
Yes, that would have been my next question. What's the typical recovery time for a person without renal disease, and what have you been seeing based on your experience with patients?
Well, the typical recovery time really is about 2 weeks, 14 to 21 days. Typically, for patients who are not very ill, you will see recovery. A lot of patients will come back after their quarantine, their isolation time, and on retesting, they would be negative. So that's always a celebration. Yeah. And as you can see from the national dashboards, the numbers of recovered patients it's really exponentially growing. So we're very thankful for that.
Yes. Well, that's always great news. You know, this has felt like a roller coaster ride since the beginning, and I can only imagine how it's been for the frontline workers and for professionals such as yourselves who are helping to keep us informed, helping to heal our fellow Bahamians. And so we encourage you two to stay safe because we need y'all to stay in this fight.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks.
So thank you, Dr. Colley and Dr. Smith, for joining us on Bahamas at Sunrise again. We'll have you back soon enough, I'm sure, to give us another update.
You mean Dr. Colley?
Thank you.
Both of you, thank you very much. You guys have a good day. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Doctors Hospital. As the Bahamas reopens, we at Doctors Hospital have been hard at work preparing for the new normal. The health and safety of our patients, associates, and others entering the hospital space is ever paramount and shapes the experience as you enter our facilities. All persons entering the hospital will be COVID screened, which includes a temperature check and a few short questions. There's also mandatory hand and shoe washing stations upon entry. Masks are required and can be provided if necessary. To further limit contact, Doctors Hospital has launched a concierge service that allows for pre-registration, a hospital itinerary, in-car waiting, and a navigator to guide you through your visit. Our pharmacy is now offering curbside pickup and delivery services for prescriptions as well. Social distancing markers are placed around the facility, and scheduling for imaging, including CAT scans, mammograms, and 3T MRIs. Laboratory, including our new same-day COVID-19 PCR testing, rehabilitation, and other services, has also been adjusted. Doctors Hospital is here to serve you with the same quality and care that you've come to expect, even as we enter a new normal. Now, more than ever, Doctors Hospital continues to be trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Business in the Box is your solution for business from Cable Bahamas. It's an internet, voice, mobile, and advertising solution all in one place. Get reliable internet, free domestic call, and a live corporate package, and free TV ad placement, all starting with packages as low as $164 a month. You can save over $3,000 a year. Just call 601-8911. That's 601-8911. And ask for Business in a Box from Cable Bahamas Business Solutions. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise, Midway Point Monday edition, Mark Daniels.
Yeah, it's a midway point on an early vet Monday, back to school, back to virtual school Monday. And
Yeah.
what is this, the first Monday of the month? Well, it's a lot.
Well, I tell you what, but you know, I've been enjoying these segments with both Doctors Hospital and the Ministry of Education. I would say probably the two hottest topics we have going on right now in our country, which obviously COVID is still very, very much real, even though we wide open, like they say, in terms of the economy. And of course, education. Nothing's more important to, especially to parents, than our children.
Yeah, and I think that it's important that, we provide another, I guess, means of information for persons to learn about what's happening both in the educational world and in the health world. If you pay attention to the dashboards and you stay on social media, you might get caught up in all the things that are going to stress you. And so when you hear some of the success stories from people working on the ground, it's a bit of an encouragement that, maybe we're getting out of this thing slowly but surely.
Yep. Do not become despondent. There is definitely hope. And you know what? I do feel, Mark, as a community, and we say it all the time, that when push comes to shove, the Bahamians will support one another. I truly believe that.
Yep. Agreed, 100%.
Listen, we've got more in the second half of our show. We have an interview with the High Commissioner of Canada to the Bahamas.
And then we'll finish out our show with a trip back to the big yard. Oh man, I enjoyed that one. I'm going to talk more about one of their natural resources, wild boars.
Boars, as in?
Yeah. Right? Okay. Grab your bow. It's time to go. All right? But first, let's take a second look at weather with Brother Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. First in insurance, today, tomorrow.
And good morning, Bahamas. In your second look at the weather at sunrise, we take a look around the tropics. This morning we have two tropical depressions. Tropical depression number 17 formed last night, and at 5 a.m. this morning was located in a latitude 17.3 degrees north and longitude 41.1 degrees west. That puts about 1,200 miles west of the Cape Verde Islands. It's moving towards the west-northwest at 6 miles per hour. Winds now 35 miles per hour, with some gradual strengthening expected of this system over the next 48 hours. Could become Paulette in the next day or two. Then we have tropical depression number 18 that formed early this morning, and at 5 a.m. this morning was located in latitude 15.2 degrees north and 20.2 degrees west, but to the some 250 miles east-southeast of Cape Verde Islands. Is moving towards the west at 12 miles per hour. Those winds 35 miles per hour. Gradual strength is expected this system also over the next 48 hours. Then we have a trough of low pressure south-southwest of Bermuda, and that has a 30% chance of developing over the next 5 days. Also, a new tropical wave is forecastable off the west coast of Africa sometime by midweek. That system has a 20% chance of development over the next 5 days. Also, a tropical formation not expected over the next 5 days. On local scene, mid-to upper level disturbance over western Cuba, interacting with moist and stable mass across the Bahamas, and this will continue to sustain outside weather across the islands over the next several days. In your marine forecast, winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet. On Tuesday, they're going to continue east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet. On Wednesday, those winds southeast at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas, east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet over the southeastern islands. Your tides. You can expect a high tide at 11:52 this morning. The next low tide will be at 6:11 this evening. High gain tomorrow morning at 5 minutes past midnight. Sunset 7:22 this evening. Rising at 6:54. UV index 9. Your water temperature 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Any moon phase now moving towards the last quarter. Your extended look. Moist and stable mass of tropical moisture continue to trigger showers and thunderstorms across the islands through midweek. Our temperature daytime will be in the upper 80s to low 90s daytime and upper 70s to low 80s at nighttime. That puts you up in your front look about the sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Phil.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're so very pleased this morning to be joined by the High Commissioner of Canada to the Bahamas, Her Excellency Laurie Peters, good morning. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. You're looking so bright and beautiful this morning in that red.
Good morning. Good morning. I am there with you in spirit, of course, and really delighted to be joining you at sunrise in Nassau, Bahamas.
You know, I will say it unashamedly, Canada is definitely one of my most favorite countries. I've been there several times. I'm not a big fan of snow, but certainly it's so beautiful up there.
Well, we're going to get along just fine then.
Well, let's start a little bit with the historical relationship between Canada and the Bahamas. As you can tell, you know, it spans so many decades actually, and it's evident in our business. It's evident even in the exchange of culture, but obviously a very special relationship.
Indeed, a special relationship. Of course, we established formal diplomatic relations when you first became an independent country back in 1973, but our history goes far, far back. Many of your viewers will know, of course, about the Canadian involvement and contributions to your financial systems. I think Royal Bank of Canada was there at the turn of the century, about 1904. Maybe 40 years later, the Bank of Nova Scotia, BNS, Scotiabank, which is huge in the Caribbean region, of course, also laid down roots. And also the what was known as the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. So banking has been a big part of our history, but I think what reverberates and is evident even more so are the people-to ties that exist between Canada and the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Canadians have been flocking to your shores for years and years and years. We're your second source country of tourism to escape what you referred to as those cold winters. And we have been attracting many of your fine students to our Canadian colleges and universities as well. So the history goes way back, but we have had an opportunity in recent years to really be forward-leaning and look at how we can have a refreshed and renewed partnership with Bahamas. You're an excellent partner with Canada.
Yeah, we've actually seen the growth in the relationship. Canada's always been such a steady partner, and in fact, you know, even my wife attended university in Canada. So again, when you talk about the student relationship, but in recent years, we've seen a lot of Bahamians that have actually been kind of relocating or moving, looking for jobs, which has kind of been relatively, well, maybe it's new to me, but certainly there's been this attractiveness about living and working in Canada, even for those who graduate. What would you kind of say has been the most attractive part to that side of the relationship?
Well, you're right. I think there is increasing appeal to really establish in Canada for not just Bahamians, but across the Caribbean. I think that we're close to 4,000 Bahamians who call Canada home now, and many of them did come as students or are rekindling those family ties, but also looking for economic opportunities. Canada, as you know, we're a land of immigrants. We embrace our diversity and our pluralism. The Caribbean nationals add so much to our fabric, social and economic fabric. And I think they do indeed find lots of opportunity despite the long, dark, cold winters. We have, you know, a really vibrant economic relationship that takes, that initiates and allows for a lot of traffic, if you will. We talked about the financial institutions, but I think together we're partnering in areas that benefit both Canada and the Bahamas, including things like infrastructure, clean energy, technology, trying to grapple with some of the issues such as the impacts of climate change. Those are areas, whether it's small startups or more established businesses, where we're seeing a lot more interest and opportunity for Bahamians in Canada.
You know, you talk about some of the trade opportunities. Certainly, you know, my history with the Chamber of Commerce kind of speaks to the fact that there have always been, you know, real, not just in the energy sector, but certainly, you know, other, you know, tourism-related sectors as well in terms of investment and banking, et cetera. What would you say has been the most, I guess, because it's not just the Bahamas. I mean, obviously it's straight across the Caribbean that Canada has had this interest. What do you think has always been the driving force? Because it seems as though it's a deliberate policy of Canada to be intrinsically involved in the Caribbean.
You're right on that we have always been had this very close relationship, and whether it has been based on the original trading routes or also reinforced with the financial relationship that we had. But I do think it comes back to those people-to-people ties, and the fact that Canada, you're a near neighbor to us, but we have always cultivated this partnership that it has merits and benefits to both sides. And you know, it's you don't have to peel back the onion too many layers to see the Canadian investment or interest in the Bahamas. Your cable company has, of course, strong Canadian ties, and those energy relationships that we talked about as well. And I do think that, you know, whether it's because we're Commonwealth cousins and in some respects speak the same language, that we're part of the Americas together, there seems to be a natural fit, and I think a mutual benefit as well. You know, I was very honored and heartened to see Canada's assistance in response to Hurricane Dorian. And I think it was a particularly appropriate role for us that our Canadian Air Force was used to airlift the Jamaican Defense Force to the Bahamas. This idea of the region assisting the region, but with a bit of a hand up from Canada as a bridge, if you will. I think it's an appropriate role for us. We're good partners, conveners, and facilitators. We, of course, also came through with some very important support to the CDEMA, the Disaster Emergency Management Agency. We're also a founding partner of the Caribbean Development Bank. All these partnerships that do end up benefiting the Bahamas as well. So we may be a little bit behind the scenes in working with Inter-American Development Banks and Caribbean Development Banks and others. But I think that many Bahamians know that we have been there for you and do consider you a very valuable partner for us.
Excellent, excellent. And of course, much of that starts within the Commissioner's office. For persons who might be looking for more information, whether it's trade related, whether it's students, whether it's travel, how can persons get in contact with you?
Certainly. We're pretty active on social media, Canada and Bahamas, on Facebook and on Twitter. That's probably the best way to reach us. You can also find us on the good old World Wide Web, although the social media seems to be the most popular for us. But also, you know, we have, well, I'm a resident High Commissioner here in Kingston, Jamaica. We have a great, a small but mighty team at the consulate. We have an honorary consul, Harvey Skolnick, and his team, who are there to assist Canadians in emergencies. But also to facilitate and broker some of the other services that Bahamians might be looking for. Every year we come to do an education fair, which is really popular, and our honorary consul and consulate support us on initiatives such as that as well. So you can certainly reach out to us virtually, but also reach out to our fine friends at the Consulate of Canada in Nassau.
All right, excellent. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Laurie Peters, the Commissioner of Canada to the Bahamas. You're watching Bahamas at sunrise. Again, have a wonderful day, Matt, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks so much, and continue to stay safe in Bahamas. We're thinking of you and partnering with you.
All right, great. We'll be right back.
Do you want to know more about the scriptures, the early Christian church, its teachings, suffering, other religions, the authenticity of the Bible? The Anglican Theological Institute is for you. Enroll in a 3-year certificate program. Classes are conducted from NASA and Freeport on Saturday mornings. Don't miss a class. Stay connected anytime, anywhere, with high-speed internet. Contact us at 603-2481. Visit our Facebook page. Pick up an application form at any Anglican church or at Addington House on Sands Road. The Anglican Theological Institute is for you.
The sports we play depend on the health we build. So let's stay healthy. Wear a mask and practice social distancing and hand washing to protect yourself and others. Remember, COVID-19 is not a game.
A public service message from the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
Nourish your immune system, nourish your health, nourish your life with Ensure, Ensure Original, Ensure Plus, and Ensure Max Protein.
We're here in the big yard, continuing our series on Andros sustainability and the Bahamas. We all know that Andros has tons of water. We all know Andros has tons of crab. But what else does Andros have? We're here to talk to the good doctor, and not the good medical doctor, the wild boar doctor, Dr. Fee.
Thank you very
Dr.
much.
Fee, thanks for being with us today on the show.
It's a pleasure to be here with you guys to show you and let you know how I hunt my wild boars.
Yeah, so Dr. Fee, tell us how you got that name.
Well, after a period of years, going hunting over about 40 odd years, they called me the good doctor. Caught so many hogs.
Yep.
I had to be a doctor to do that.
You're the specialist.
Yes.
So tell us, people hear about wild boar, they hear about hogs, and we're here in Andros. Where can you find wild boar in Andros?
Well, we can find out even Owenstown is right straight across the road, straight down the road here where we normally take off from to go for wild boars.
So we're here in North Andros. So do you mainly find boars in the north, central, south, or are they all over Andros?
They're all over. They have in central also.
Right.
My good friend down in Cargill, Barron Point, which is Big Charlie, he normally go hunting in the north and that area.
Right.
So I normally go this way.
In this territory. So tell us, who hunts boar on Andros?
Well, we have a few guys which is from Red Base. Well, we have Mikey, and we have another guy in Red Bay by the name of Anwar.
Right.
Okay. And myself and the Sweden boys work with me.
Right. So when it comes to hunting boar, is this a dangerous activity? Do you recommend anybody go out to do it, or is there a certain methodology that you follow, good doctor?
It's dangerous, you know, because sometimes the hog, when you go in the bushes and you come upon them sudden, they will run from you. But normally a boar, a man, which is the boar, he could attack you if he escape from the dog trying to get away, and he can run straight to you. Right. So you got to get on the side.
Right.
Okay, and these what the tusks look like. With
yeah,
the
show
boars.
us what you got there.
These are the boar's tusks.
So how big was that boar?
This boar was about, normally over 400 pounds.
Wow. So that's wide,
huge.
That's tall. How tall?
Well, when he stand up, he could catch you up here.
Wow.
And we had to trip him down. So it take 4 of us to take him down.
So tell us, when you go out to hunt boar, what's your method? Do you leave out early in the day? Are you in the nighttime? What do you do?
Well, normally we leave at 5, 5:30. We leave, that's the latest.
Right.
So the early you go, the hog eat early in the morning, late in the evening. So by 12 o'clock they going back to rest in the pine yard or in the carpet where they go late. Okay, so you have to go early.
You got to get out early.
Yeah, the earlier you go, it's better for you
Right.
and the dog because the sun normally get hot.
Right.
Once in a while you'll meet them in the road trying to drink water.
Right.
So the earlier you go, you get pigs.
So tell me, you mentioned dogs. Now this is some high-class pedigree dog that you imported from Europe, or this is a nice Rottweiler. What kind of dogs do you use?
Oh, pot cake.
Good old pot cake.
Pot cake. They normally the Rottweiler is no good for the bush.
Right.
Because the hog normally tuss them. But the pot cake could get around them.
Yeah, the pot cakes, they know the territory, and it's in their genes, right?
Right.
So you've caught yourself a boar. What do you do next?
When I caught them, I bring them out, tie them up, bring them out the woods, put it on the back of the truck, go home, boil the water, slaughter, quarter, put them in to get them ready for the freezer and for market.
And so for selling wild boar meat, do you have enough of a market here in Andros, or do you send to New Providence?
I send New Providence, Freeport, all over. Eleuthera, Exuma. People call me from all over the ship.
So there's a big demand.
There's a good demand for it.
There's a big demand for it.
Sir.
And so do you think that there is an industry essentially lying dormant? There's an industry waiting where Androsians, we also know that wild boars are in Abaco and on other islands, that this is something that for local meat production has great potential?
They do. They do.
If you could estimate, how many wild boars do you think are on Andros right now?
Oh man, it's hard to say. It's countless.
Yes.
Because it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. I hard to say, and I don't want to say it's over 3,000 or it's plenty.
Countless is a good way to describe that.
Yes.
Dr. Fee, it was great talking to you. I see you got your instruments ready to go. I think we're going to follow you in your truck. I think you might have something for us to taste a little later.
Sure we will.
Well, we're here on Bahamas at Sunrise, continuing our series here in Andros, talking with Dr. Fee and wild boar. So y'all in Nassau, you need your boar, hit up the good doctor and he'll get you sorted out. We know that you probably have some boar that needs to get cleaned up and cooked up, so we're going to let you go. But we thank you again for your time. We're here in the big yard, continuing our series here on Bahamas at Sunrise, Andros, Sustainability, and the Bahamas. Let's see what we can find next.
The COVID-19 pandemic demands the most modern techniques and highest standards of sanitizing to ensure the safety of schools, businesses, churches, and the ones we love. Treeline Divine Professional Sanitizers offers state-of-the-art electrostatic technology, providing maximum efficiency and coverage to protect your environment and preserve your health against mold and 99% of bacteria and viruses, including COVID-19. With pricing to match your budget and standards to meet your highest expectations, we invite you to contact us for a free analysis of your weekly, monthly, or single-use needs. COVID-19's impact is strong, but our commitment to restoring your safety is even stronger. Treeline Divine Sanitizing. Spread confidence.
One thing, two things, blue thing, all things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Bahamas at Sunrise. Mark, always a pleasure, my brother.
Yes, man. Always good being here on the show on this Vet Monday. I don't know. How much time we got until 9 o'clock? See if we can catch a swim.
Catch a swim, right? Well, I don't know. I mean, it's still raining, though.
Oh, yes, it's raining. Right. I've been a couple of mornings, got a couple swims in. The true members, those people that been waking up, going to the beach in the morning, I don't think they like us newcomers on these early mornings. So y'all apologize for us regular Bahamians who coming out in the morning. Please allow us space on the beach.
Yeah, you're talking about them older folks who are always out there first thing in the morning.
The kings and the queens of the beach, as they would say.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, listen, Mark, you are never a bore, my friend.
Especially not a wild boar, right?
Listen,
Always a pleasure,
guys, have a wonderful week. We're going to see you right back here on Bahamas at Sunrise this Friday. But again, we're re-airing in a couple of minutes and then on Wednesday.
Can't get enough.
Can't get enough. All right, see you then. Bye.
Take care.